Hello, termites. I don't know what night this is anymore. Probably 80? Something like that. It's not really important anymore, is it? Does time matter? For you people who have jobs, it does. But for the rest of us, shoo, buddy. What are we drinking tonight? Green Spot. It's a single pot still Irish whiskey, product of Ireland. I was in a bar in Seattle in the alley down by Pike's Place, a bar called Kells. And the guy said you should get this because it tastes just like Redbreast, but it's cheaper. It is cheaper. I can't say it tastes exactly like it, but close enough. I wouldn't disagree with the idea of what he said to do. Seattle was one of the last places I was before all this shit show began. That was a lot of fun. Now I just look at my book every week and think of where I was supposed to be. And I gotta say, there's a couple cities I'm like, I'm glad I didn't have to go. Not gonna say any names, though. That would be rude. Let's get to Tanya, shall we? Now she's met this new guy, Ben. Remember that? Ben. Guy who wants to be an actor or something. Well, thank you, Jeff. I thought as I stood looking at the man Jeff McKay had just introduced me to as Ben Reed. It was May 26, 1988, a little over 2 months after I checked out of Betty Ford, and I was planning a show at a Tulsa honky tonk. I met Jeff several years earlier taping a show called Downtown in L.A. I don't know what that is. And I continued to run into him at golf tournaments and other celebrity events. He was an actor with a good list of credentials, including about 40 episodes of Magnum P.I. What? Never saw it. But I do see Tom Selleck in these reverse mortgage commercials, and I don't trust him. And when he comes out and goes, this isn't my first rodeo, I think, first of all, we're not at a rodeo. But second of all, I bet it would be your first rodeo, Tom, even if you said it wasn't. I don't buy it. I think he's tricking old people in bad decisions. That's just me, though, and I really haven't researched reverse mortgages. I couldn't believe what I saw. Ben Reed was tall, handsome, looked like he could be a movie star. He was dressed in stark contrasts, a pair of white Levi's and a black shirt. He dominated the room. He was a doll, so I made a conscious effort not to appear too interested that night. I figured a guy who looked like that already had more women chasing him than he needed. I wanted to think he was the pursuer. I think I read this paragraph. Yeah, I'll catch you guys up. We talked about his career. I think I already read that the last time. I mark it with the pictures, but then sometimes I don't mark the page. I'm not very smart. Career plans, they danced and they talked. A few weeks later, he came to Oklahoma. Yet he brought his parents. Yeah, I did read that. She spent a lot of time on the telephone calling the TBirds about my new boyfriend. He's the most gorgeous guy. He's got a great personality and he's kind. I was just wild about him. I hated the fact we were going to be so far apart. Ben went to Cancun on a graduation trip with a couple of his friends that June, and while he was there, he sent me a postcard that read, "Hope the invitation still stands. I'm coming to Nashville." Whoo-hoo, here we go. Put your drinking shoes on, Ben. Tanya is done with Betty Ford. That day I got the card. I was working out details for a video that would help me promote the title cut single from Strong Enough to Bend. We decided to shoot the clip in Nashville and give it the backyard home time family kind of feel. The song's writer, so-and-so and so-and-so, had used the image of the trees that's strong enough to bend to portray a love that lasts because partners are willing to give. I saw the song as meaningful to all the family relationships, not just that of a husband and wife. I wanted a family reunion kind of theme for the piece, where the young couple on a picnic surrounded with what might appear to be cousins, uncles, aunts, grandparents, and parents. Ben visited during the week, and we shot the video, and he appeared as an extra in the piece. Billy Long, my actor friend who escorted me to the AMC's earlier that year, was also staying at the house. Since I'd asked him to play the male lead in the clip, Ben was positive Billy had a big crush on me, which was funny since in the entire time I'd known Billy, we hadn't even kissed. Ben stayed at the house for 4 or 5 days, and he kept talking about moving to Los Angeles to get his acting career started. As soon as the video shoot was finished, Ben and I headed out to Shirley and Royce Parter's house on Old Hickory Lake. We fished, boated, and had a wonderful, relaxing time. Shirley said, "You undersold him, T. He's better than gorgeous." What's better than gorgeous? Before he left, I invited him to be my date for the CMA Awards that October. He said he'd love to come. When he got back to Tulsa, he packed up all things into Old Blue, his blazer, and headed to Hollywood. Well, I don't know about that, but We'll see. Did he become a famous actor? I'm going to guess probably not. I never heard of him. One night, while he was driving to California, I was out on the road. I was looking at a huge moon through my hotel window. I started writing on a scratch pad, and these lines just rushed out. By now, he's as far as Winslow. He can't wait to see where his name will be on the Hollywood Walk of Stars. I couldn't come up with a chorus, but I held on to the scratch pad and scribbled down verses over the next few weeks. Then in July, or she probably says July, I played a show in Fort Pierce, Florida. I'm sure happy to be in the Gary Stewart country, I said from the stage. And when I came out after the show, there stood my old songwriting friend from the Spence Manor. Man, am I glad to see you. I've been working on another song. I told him all about Ben and how much I missed him. I told him about Ben's plants. I showed him my verses. Gary and I sat down and worked out a chorus that ends like this. If Hollywood doesn't work out and all your dreams fall through, there's a Tennessee woman who'd love to share her dreams with you. Well, isn't that nice? That's cute. I want to demo this now, I said when we'd finished the piece. Gary knows me. He knows that my patience isn't one of my virtues. He knew a little studio we're in town. We went over at 6 a.m. to demo the song Tennessee Woman is going to be the title of my next album, I said before the bus pulled out for the next show. My feelings were torn over Ben and his move to L.A. I felt like I was just getting to know him and knew how difficult trying to build a relationship was going to be if I was on concert and he was hitting the streets of L.A. looking for his big break. There was part of me that didn't want him to pursue the film thing, and another part that understood completely. Nothing and nobody could have stopped me. Could have stood between me and my ambition all those years ago. And I respected him for going after the career he wanted. While I was out on tour promoting Strong Enough to Ben, I spent a lot of lonely nights on the bus thinking about Ben, wondering what was going to happen between us. We were on the phone constantly. Ben arrived in L.A. and rented a little apartment. He started taking acting classes. I did that. I quit. I just couldn't take the questions. Oh, my God. And then I'd think, these people are crazy. How did they get $500? Because that's how much the acting class costed at the time. Somehow they did it. The acting classes attract super crazies. So does open mic night. But acting, at least the open micers are trying to be funny. The acting people, no, very serious people. He started his acting classes. He was waiting tables and working construction to stay alive. I missed him terribly. July was booked tight, and I was in emotional pain. I was in emotional pain, missing Ben for a lot of the time. And then I added physical pain as well for quite a few of the shows. I played a concert in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and since I had a day off, I decided to go jet skiing. Jet skiing is a rough sport, and one slip can take you out, which is exactly what happened to me. I hit everywhere at once. I was in bad pain in the water by the time they dragged me out and took me to the hospital. The hospital? Jesus. The doctor suggested I take some time off, not so much because they were afraid of permanent damage, but because of the pain. Right. You don't cancel shows because you're sore. No. By the next show, I had a bruise halfway across my back. 2 days later, when I walked on stage in Webster, Massachusetts, feeling like I'd been beaten up. Performing is always a crapshoot anyway. You rely on sound and light systems up and down the road and hope your guitar player didn't have a fight with his girlfriend or the keyboard player has a broken finger. Then every time you want to do something normal, like jet ski or roller skate or ride a horse, you know in the back of your mind you could be gambling away a few shows. Comedians never think of that. Probably because all we have to do is talk. We don't even have to move. All you got to do is stand there. You don't even have to do that. For like the last 10 years, Bill Cosby sat down. And I'm like, that's not right. It's not sit-down comedy. It's stand-up comedy. You only have one job, stand up. And he couldn't do it. Even Don Rickles stood up. Last time I saw him, and he was probably 113 then. They got him out there in the dark, but he was standing by that piano. By God. That's how I felt that night in Massachusetts until a fan approached the stage. Nothing helps a performer like forget physical pain like a loyal fan. And after I did a few songs, a little girl walked up and handed me a 45 RPM copy of Delta Dawn. My back pain faded like Delta Dawn's rose from years gone by. Did you get it? That's a line from this song. My physical pain always disappears when I'm playing video poker. I could literally probably have 75 broken bones. And if I can gamble in peace and quiet, I feel no pain. Neither does my mom. She doesn't feel any pain when she's gambling. I couldn't believe it was happening to me and how it'd take me years to understand that I was a star. I just rocked for the rest of the performance. It was sweltering Massachusetts that July, and I bet I dropped 4 or 5 pounds up there. Like after any high, the pain returned soon enough. The rest of the month was more of the same, and it took several weeks before my back didn't ache after every show. I would have liked to have seen how this happened on a jet ski. In August, when I had a few days off, I went to see Ben in L.A. We had a great time until we made the mistake of heading to the bar at the Howard Johnson's and starting to drink. Uh-oh. I don't think Betty Ford would be approving of this. That led to an argument about something stupid that I can't remember. It's no good to argue with me when I'm drinking, and Ben wasn't even going to try. Finally, he said, "Go back to Tennessee, Tanya." In a very un-Tanya Tucker-ish move, I apologized and said, "Look, Ben, let's make up. We can make this work." He shook his head and told me he didn't want to see me again. Needless to say, I left L.A. and hit the road again in anger. I doubted I'd ever see him again, and I almost convinced myself I didn't care. I had decided to attend the CMA Awards alone, or maybe with my friends like T and Glenn Martin or Royce and Shirley. I was nominated for Female Vocalist for the first time in 14 years, and two Pauls and I had a vocal collaboration nominated for I Won't Take Less Than Your Love. I didn't expect to win, but being nominated again was exciting. About 10 days before the award show, Ben phoned. I almost fainted when I heard his voice. "Do you need an escort for the show?" he asked. "I thought you didn't want to see me again," I said. "Well, I'd like to take you to the award show and see if we can't get back together." Took me about 2 seconds to say, "Come on." So there you go, termites. She's going to get back with Ben, who I think is the father of her first child. Am I blowing it? Am I blowing the story? What are you guys doing out there? I read all your comments. Thank you for the chigger advice. Somebody reminded me of nail polish, and it worked. And then somebody else put baking soda and something, but I'd already found the nail polish. That worked. Chiggers are tiny but mighty. What else? Hockey's on. Golf's on. Sports are on. The Cardinals, my St. Louis Cardinals, Dirty Birds. Dirty Birds. Had COVID twice. Just run through the hole. So we think we have approximately 174 games we'll have to make up. Think lose Orioles had? No. The Marlins had it too. All right, termites. Hope you guys are feeling good. Get your summer sheet. We're gonna roll into fall. Just sooner than we imagined. Fall will be here. Won't that be nice? Get out of the heat. For those of you in hot states, California in particular, completely on fire from what I can tell. And temperatures, and blackouts and temperatures. So, sorry to hear that for the California termites. Doesn't look like much fun. And that's all I got for now, termites. So I'm going to tuck you in. Are you comfortable? Is your head down? Night-night, termites.